tragedy.
My political power panel is here. Independent Women's Forum Executive Director Sabrina Schaefer, Republican strategist Sarah Isgur Flores, and Democratic strategist Harlan Hill. Sabrina, what is your take on the proposed legislation and the criticism?
Well, look, I think after a tragedy like Orlando, and it really is a horrifying event in American history, I think that gun laws make us feel good, but we do have to step back and ask, how are these going to make us safer? And something that has struck me in sort of the days and week after this event is that, you know, we have a lot of gun laws in place that were in fact working. If you remember, there was a gun store that contacted the FBI and said that Mateen was someone that made them worry. They did not sell a gun to him, and the FBI did nothing to follow up. And that is something we've heard from the president himself, that we have so many laws on the books that simply are not already being enforced.
So, Sarah, let me follow up, if you don't mind, on Sabrina's point, which is to say the gun store owner did what he was supposed to do, and the FBI had a hard time following up for numerous reasons that we've been talking about for the past week. Even a former FBI employee saying, look, the FBI's hands are tied sometimes, even when they have great leads. What is your take?
Well, this highlights a problem that conservatives have brought up again and again, which is enforcing the laws we have and finding suspicious people when someone does see something and say something. And so it's not that I think anyone's blaming the FBI, but this is just one in a string of incidents where the Department of Justice, for instance, hasn't been prosecuting gun crimes. And yet then the left again turns and tries to pass more laws that aren't going to get enforced. So it's getting to the root of some of these problems.
But how, Harlan, can you take all of these different entities, whether it's the FBI communicating with local police, how can we make this work and be more efficient in a country with a few 100 million people?
Right. I mean, look, the only thing that I saw proposed here that I think would be meaningful at all was streamlining the way that government agencies, both state and federal, communicate as to, you know, who should be allowed to purchase a gun. The rest of this stuff, denying somebody the right to purchase a gun based on reasonable suspicion, I don't even know how you really adequately define that. But streamlining, how we keep records and we share information. Look, after 9/11, there was a massive upgrade to the way that our federal government communicated with itself under the Bush administration. There's no reason that we can't take this similar crisis in gun violence in this country and fix the problem.
Sabrina, back to you. There were lawsuits, of course, against the gun makers, the companies that made the guns used in Newtown, Connecticut. It is said that there are lawsuits being put together now in the same vein from the Orlando victims' families. What is your take on that?
Look, I don't criticize anyone who has gone through such a tragedy, but I think if we step back and sort of look at this, I don't think that that is going to get us the solution that we want. I think the thing that it seems to be the common thread between all of these horrible incidences is that there is always a person, there is always someone who thinks that something bad is about to happen, who recognizes that there is a person in their life who has the potential to create great harm, and they haven't been able to come forward or felt as though they had the resources or the support when they do. That is the real thing. I think the human component is our first line of defense, and we have to figure that out.
All right. I know the three of you are going to stay with me. I appreciate it. So hang tight. Sabrina, Sarah, Harlan, back with me in a